Hey, Beat LA fans, welcome back to the pod. We hope you had a great summer. Paul and I are glad to be back in the Beat LA saddle because that only can mean one thing. It's football season, baby. But before we dive in, a really quick disclaimer. We recorded this episode on Monday, which means Jake Moody was still a 49er. That's right. Moody was still employed when we hit record. And then Tuesday came. Poof, gone, cut, out of here. All we can say is, you're welcome. Yeah, Paul and I negged Moody so hard on this episode, we basically spoke it into existence. That's the power of the neg, people. Never doubt it. So before you come storming at us in the comments like, hey guys, Moody's not even on the team, just remember, we bottled your collective frustration and we poured that dark energy into this pod. We all made it happen, Niner Nation. So let's just give ourselves a pat on the back. All right, enough disclaimers, enough excuses. Everyone go buy that Eddie Pinheiro jersey and let's get to the show. Hello and welcome to the Beat LA podcast, the only podcast where you get unhinged 49ers, Giants, and Warriors takes, pop culture, movie, and TV talk with a little self-help sprinkled in from two guys born and raised in the Bay Area, now working in Hollywood. My name is Matt Ferricci. I'm a writer-director in Los Angeles, and I am joined, as always, by the president of the Jake Tongas fan club, Mr. Paul Rule. Paul, how you doing?
Matt, you finally did an opening. I've been asking for more specificity in our opening, and I appreciate that.
Well, I think people with the, Beat LA, that's pretty good. People know.
Sure.
With the chant, but you wanted more.
I wanted more. I always want more, Matt.
I was going to call you also the only man that blitzes more than Robert Saleh.
Wow, I don't know what that means. I thought you were going to say the former president of the United States. How many trolls do we have out there that keep telling me I look like George Bush?
Hey, man, I mean, there's a cottage industry here. We got to get him on the pod because I think the more
promote his painting.
Right, the more popular we get, the more shout outs like, hey, when did George Bush get a pod?
That's right.
Yeah.
You look great, by the way. You should get your hair cut today. Did you get your hair cut?
I did. I got my hair
Fresh
cut.
coiffure, au revoir, go fair.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I love it when you
Caddyshack.
speak
I just
French.
wanted to get a Caddyshack clip right away.
In the words of Jean-Paul Sartre, au revoir, go fair.
Folks, welcome back. I hope you had a good summer. We had a great summer here on the Beat LA podcast. We've been traveling all over the world. Before we tell you where we've been, on today's show, we are obviously going to talk about the San Francisco football 49ers today. We're also going to talk a little bit about the San Francisco Giants, best things we saw. And a little bit later, we're going to get a little guest here. We're going to get Mark Rodríguez. He's the head of Mastermind Media. He's a diehard Detroit Lions fan. So we're going to do a little recap on the NFL and all things Detroit from Mark. Can't wait for that. Folks, you can listen to us on Spotify, TikTok, Apple, Instagram, YouTube channel, wherever you get your podcasts. Click follow and subscribe. That keeps the lights on.
We recently passed 2 million views. Thanks, everybody. I like to say that, Matt.
Oh, yeah. It's our calling card.
Because you know what's better than a million? 2 million.
2 million. You know what's better than 2 million?
A billion.
Yeah, a billion. A fucking billion. That's right. Folks, we have been all over the world. It's been about a month. Thank you for all the support on the Rich Aurelia pod and the Mike Meebach pod.
That was how much fun were those pods and the reactions, it's great. Yeah. Rich Aurelia, he literally, I talk to him like almost every day.
Do you? What do you talk about?
No, I don't, but wine.
Talk about wine.
Talk about wine and how the Giants suddenly started hitting home runs.
Well, I talk to Mike Meebach like every other day, and we're just talking about politics, crime rates, all that sort of shit.
How he almost was Screech.
Yeah, exactly. Top Gun shit. Folks, Paul, since the last pod, he traveled to the bottom of the Grand Canyon in some sort of like daredevil excursion. Woo! Nick, on the wheels of steel, wave to the camera, Nick. There's Nick right there, Nick Conrad. He went up to Alaska and fought a bear. I was in New York for the U.S. Open. But Paul, how was the Grand Canyon?
The Grand Canyon was amazing. I think Nick was probably more interactive in the wilderness. You know, Matt, like I'm not really an outdoors guy. My version of outdoors is playing tennis and then having a martini out on the deck of my tennis club.
Yeah.
But when I went outside my comfort zone and I went on this incredible trip to the Grand Canyon with 17 or 27 other lucky souls.
Right.
And it was incredible. Everyone should do it. Everyone in this country should do it. There are 26,000 people a year river raft down the Grand Canyon. I can give you a few facts, Matt. Until the year 1947, 100 people had gone down the Colorado through the Grand Canyon. Now it's 26,000 a year. Wow. But it's still not enough. There are 350 million people in this country. I think we will all have a different perspective on this great land of ours and on how we interact with each other, things we worry about, all that kind of shit if you do this trip.
Are you a different man? Are you a changed man?
I think I am, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I honestly so this is the anecdote, which you could do anywhere if you get out. The digital detox part of it was kind of amazing. So usually you kind of sit there and you're kind of hanging out and you're like, and there's a pause in some action in your life, and you go and you reach into your pocket and you grab your phone. Yeah. For no reason. Like nobody's texted me.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody's called me.
Right.
But there you can't do, because it's literally totally 100% off the grid, right?
Right.
Satellite phone out via text if there's like an emergency. And instead of looking at your dumb phone, you're like, oh, wow, look at the rim of the Grand Canyon. That's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Right.
And when you start doing that more and more, you start doing this phone thing less and less.
Yeah.
And life kind of slows down. And I came back and I'm much less addicted to this thing, which also explains why I'm totally unprepared for today's podcast.
You know what? I do feel like I'm just like riding some weird wave right now above myself because we haven't done this for so long.
We did have a guide. Our guy's name was Kitty Cat, and he was our head boatman. And he did most of the driving. I mostly just got wet.
Got it.
But it was great.
Got it. And Nick, you just got back from Alaska where you fought a couple black bears. Am I wrong?
And 4 grizzlies.
And 4 grizzlies. Folks, if you want to follow the best travel show on television, it's not on the Travel Channel. It's Nick Conrad's Instagram. That looked cool. You know, I always talk shit about that Alaskan cruise.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Nick. It's like, it feels like a weird thing that sort of like, I don't know, my aunt and uncle does. But when I saw your stuff, man, that looked fucking incredible.
I'm just trying to make it better than it was. I mean, I think that a cruise is not for me, but there were a lot of highlights from that trip because of the cruise. So it was a great means to an end.
Are you a changed man from Alaska?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Look at us. We're all changed.
Well, I want to say I went to New York for the U.S. Open. I am not a changed man. I am still a fucking snob.
Did you get that honeydew cocktail?
Yeah. You know, it was fun. It's still.
How is that cocktail? It's so overpriced. Everything at the U.S. Open is overpriced.
I didn't drink when I was in New York. I was in New York for 5 days. Didn't have
only cocaine.
God bless America. Knock on wood. Everybody drink.
Everybody drink.
No, man. Like no vices at all.
That's incredible.
Yeah. It was fun.
Most of your vices were just walking down the street because the weather was nice and the girls were
just
beautiful girls.
New York has the most beautiful women in the world. I will stand on that business. My big beautiful girlfriend won, Arena Sabalenka. Yeah, she fucking kicked some ass. I saw Yannick Sinner play. Saw the RoboCop. Hit. The most fun match I saw, though, was like on court 17, some Mexican tennis player and some French woman, both unseated, and it was packed. It went to a 3-set tiebreaker. People were losing their fucking mind. So sometimes the best matches, as you know, aren't the seeded matches, but these little matches off to the side.
That's why you got to go first week. You get a lot of good matches. So let's talk for 1 second. Yeah. The finals just happened.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Alcaraz's purple tank top? I know you like talking fashion.
I do. I thought his outfit was great. I think the bigger question was Yannick Sinner going with the Texas Longhorns rust.
Yeah.
You know, in the semis he wore navy blue, but he went back to the rust.
I like that he wears the white arm thing because that's something that I wear as an old guy. I wear the compression sleeves. And actually, in the pictures of the Grand Canyon, you may see me. I was in a full body compression sleeve. It was like that scene in Naked Gun where he like wraps himself in a condom.
I want you to know it. Practice saves 6.
So do I.
Okay.
Because you're in the sun. It's like 120 degrees every day.
Yeah.
And you're in the sun like the whole time.
Right.
So I was trying to keep this, the baby face skin cancer thing going.
Got it.
So I was wearing full body compression sleeves on my legs and my arms. It was hot.
You should wear those when you do the podcast.
I should.
You really should.
I look like the jolly white giant.
And I thought, there are 4 of us. If we ever find a lady. Hello, lady.
But yeah, so Paul was doing a little Grand Canyon. Nick was in Alaska. I was doing some New York. We're back.
We are back. By the way, Alcaraz, I'm not sure I've ever seen anybody play better tennis than he played in the finals.
I thought it was a foregone conclusion going into that final. Just the way Sinner was playing, he obviously had that thing in Cincinnati. He wasn't 100%. Even when I saw him in round 2, I was like, he's a little bit off his game. I wasn't surprised.
But don't forget, he played through an elbow thing when he won Wimbledon with it. So who knows really where that is. But it was red line the whole time. I've never seen guys just hit out for 2.5 hours, however long that match was.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody can touch them. It's actually getting to the point, by the way, if there isn't a third guy sometime soon, it's actually going to start getting a little boring. Because you need there's nobody even close to these guys.
Well, I thought the women are more interesting to watch just because of the competition involved.
Well, and sometimes they're attractive.
No, they are attractive, but take that away. You could have had 7 dogs out there. I know I'm getting canceled. Fuck, I'm going to get canceled this year.
What?
But it was just much more competitive, and it was just much more of an open field.
So Sinner, by the way, just a real quick tennis thing. If you don't know her, I think I texted you this. I think her name's Kosakina. She was his girlfriend for a while, and she's Russian, very very attractive. She lost to Swiatek somewhere like quarters, but he broke up with her, and the next thing you know, he's like #1 in the world. So I'm just saying.
I'm telling you about this one match. I saw the highlight of the trip was I saw a doubles match with Anastasia Potapova, this Russian girl, and I can understand why she's not doing singles because her doubles game was a little off. This woman was right out of, I think it used to be called the Eros Guide. You know about this.
No, I don't know anything about it, Matt.
But she was so beautiful. Everyone just stopped what they're, like jaws, all mouths were open while she played. It was incredible. One of the most beautiful women I've ever seen.
So the punchline is she's coming on the podcast next week, right?
I don't know. I think we need, she only hangs out with guys that make at least $8 million a year. That's the look she had.
Okay.
Paul, I was going to start with the San Francisco Giants, but I can feel our listeners through the cars and on the gym, they want us to start with the 49ers.
We have to start with the 49ers, Matt. If the Giants had actually swept that series in St. Louis, maybe
we lead, but we're going to punt that for later. Paul, 49ers, what a win. And we are going to be prisoners of the moment here. We will attempt to give you a broader view of the 49ers, but I can't promise anything. If you're listening to the Beat LA podcast, you know that this podcast borders on the cusp of Homertown and Unhingedville. So, saying all of that, a lot of 49er business today, Paul.
Yeah.
Offensive lineman Colton McKivitz gets a new 3-year deal worth $45 million. I think it's a good signing. We signed free agent wide receiver Kendrick Bourne to a 1-year deal worth $5 million. And Jake Moody was released. I'm kidding. I know everyone got so fucking excited there. Do you want to start with Moody or you want to start with the win?
I'm a positive guy, Matt. I came back from the Grand Canyon, a changed man, perspective.
Okay.
I'm going to lean into the fact that the 49ers would have lost that game last year.
Yes.
How many games did they lose in crunch time last year? They would have lost that game.
They were 2-6 in one-score games last year. Yeah. And Purdy put together a drive. I mean, that game-winning drive, 7 for 7, 68 yards, 1 touchdown. He did it without Kittle, without Ayuk, without Debo or Jennings.
Paul Songus, who ran for president. What's his name? Jake Tongus?
Jake Tongus.
Nobody's going to know the Paul Songus reference. I think he ran for president in like 1992 or something.
Yeah. He was right there with the Dukakis, Jesse Jackson.
He's in there somewhere.
Remember that one?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. He's at Mondale.
So, but he's the pride of Los Gatos High, and he went to Cal Berkeley.
Went to Cal.
Yeah.
Had a cup of coffee with the Bears.
Yep.
And his first catch was on that final drive. 3 catches, including the game winner.
Amazing.
Purdy keeping it alive. Brock Purdy lofts one. It is Tonjes. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Unbelievable. And we're going to need more Jake Tongus fan club because it looks like Kittle's going to be out multiple weeks now.
3 to 5 I saw with a hammy. They did right before we started the pod. The news came in. And Brock Purdy ended up on the injury report.
Yeah, a sprained toe.
And a shoulder
non-throwing shoulder.
Yeah.
If he doesn't go, they might rest him. We have an easy game on Sunday against the New Orleans Saints,
right?
One of the worst teams in the league, it looks like.
A team that can't stop the run, so that they can just pound these guys. I like Brian Robinson, by the way.
I love it when you say they. Well, I won't go there.
Can't stop the runs. That was Nick on the cruise.
On the cruise,
he got sick. He had like a noro COVID thing. or something.
And then all these guys pounding these guys and all this sorts of weird shit.
So much pounding on that boat.
So much pounding in Alaska.
This is what happens when you have grizzly beer sashimi.
Yeah, beer sashimi. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 49ers might rest him, which means my worst nightmare is going to happen. It's going to be the Mac Jones show. How do you feel about Mac Jones starting Sunday if he has to?
I think it's all part of Kyle's plan because he likes to he likes to resurrect these guys like Sam Darnold and then get a draft pick for him when they go sign somewhere else. So you got to have a showcase game for him. So this is his game.
I know we won, and I know we're very happy we won. We were jumping up and down, but Kyle Shanahan drives me fucking crazy.
Oh, hey, so this can I hear you talk for a second, Matt? I've got some text here I'd like to read.
We won in spite of Kyle Shanahan. Once again, I think he's a great offensive mind, but he should not be a head coach. Being a head coach, Paul, is about managing other departments.
He hired a new special teams coordinator.
But see, what he does is he doesn't even oversee that. He says, just do what you do. He doesn't do oversight well.
You know how they talk about overreaction Monday, Matt? Can I read a couple of the texts I got from you during the game yesterday?
Yeah, go for it.
To Steve Groeschel in the Neg Zone.
So hold on. This was let me give you a little thing. This first text I fired off was after the Purdy first missed field goal.
Jake Moody is looking for a bounce back here. He missed 9 of his last 20 tries last season, and he starts this year by doinking one. No good. The demons of 24 live for Jake Moody.
Podcast is over. I don't want to do it. The last thing I want to do once every 2 weeks is talk about this team. Steve, do you want to take over? Paul, do you have a friend in Los Angeles that can replace me? I'm not joking.
And then, folks, I want to tell you, and I know everyone was sending that on their 49er chain, this is the type of support I got in response. Paul, Steve, can we expense massages? That's what Paul said.
Wait, but that's if Steve took over as your...
Yeah, right. And Steve said, of course... And Steve said, also, recreational party favors can be a line item on the Beat LA tax returns. And Paul said, great, Matt, you've been replaced. Now, this is my text to Paul and Steve after the second miss. Go.
That is why Kyle should not be a head coach anymore. His lack of oversight this is exactly what we just said. Why his team is taking a step back. I have an epic rant for tomorrow, Paul. Don't get in my fucking way.
Right. Now, after the second Brock interception, I said, Paul, you better bone up on your pop culture and start watching movies and TV shows when they come out, because nobody's going to want to listen to our podcast talking about this fucking team. Which Steve replied, talk about the Valkyries. And then Paul said, Nick, no U.S. Open spoilers. I recorded it. That's the type of support I was getting. Okay?
We were just letting you kind of have your own thing. It's like the little kid goes, he has a tantrum, you just send him into the corner.
Yeah. That's
what we did. We let you fucking freak out. But Matt, first of all, wonderful rant, great negging, and they won.
They won.
So see what you did?
I did. I know. I hear you. Let's get the Jake Moody thing out of the way. He's still on the team as of this podcast here on Monday afternoon. Jake Moody makes $1.3 million a year to put us through that. His last 22 field goal attempts in the regular season, he's made 12. Okay? I mean, this is absolutely a con job by this guy. These are some of the texts I read about Jake Moody on Twitter in real time. If Moody is still on the team tomorrow, we're storming Levi's like it's January 6th. I read that. I don't know. I mean, Moody, it feels like some sort of codependency. Shanahan doesn't want to think about the kicking game, so he's refused to seriously consider cutting Moody. It feels like his makes matter, but his misses don't, Paul, and it's infuriating.
I think he doesn't make it through the season. Once these guys, it is just
right.
The first week, right? Well, I don't think he makes it through the season. Once it gets inside these guys' heads,
yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about the Giants. You've been following Hayden Birdsong in the minors.
Okay.
He has at 28 innings, he has 20 walks. The guy literally has turned into Nuke LaLoosh. He's got like a 60 RA. Once these guys lose it upstairs, it's hard to get it back. It's kind of kickers only get a couple chances a game to get it back. They're not in there every play. They can't get in a rhythm.
It's
right?
the yips.
Yeah.
You're a big baseball aficionado.
Mackie Sasser.
Remember
he couldn't throw the ball back to the pitcher?
Well, here's the thing. I want to tie it to, I remember that. That was crazy.
And Chuck Knobloch, he had another one.
And what about the guy?
Steve Sachs, he couldn't throw.
And the guy in Major League who had to recite bios from Playboy Centerfolds in order to get the ball back to the pitcher. Cut to that clip.
Her favorite sports are air hockey, checkers, and calf roping.
There's an old adage in baseball, and I think this is true. I think kickers are like closers in baseball. You don't pay big money or trade major assets for relief pitchers, especially closers, because they're the most volatile position in the game. And I think the same goes for kickers.
I think that's fair. Look what the Bills did. That amazing game yesterday.
Matt Prater,
41 years old, looks just like the kicker from the movie The Replacements. Cut to that.
You're looking at a 65-yard field goal here, Nigel. You just hold it, Shane, and I'll kick the bloody piss out of it.
And he comes off this couch.
Yep.
And he hits a game-winning field goal yesterday.
3 for 3.
3-3, and one of the great games of all time. Sunday Night Football. Apparently, the first time there's ever been a 41-40 game in the history of the NFL.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That exact
incredible.
Score,
Wow.
which is weird. Yeah. Right. Get a guy who's been doing it forever.
I mean,
Robbie Gould, get him. He's probably still in shape.
He's coaching high school football in Chicago. Yeah. I mean, Greg Joseph.
I call him Robbie Gould, by the way.
Yeah, Gould is gold. But Greg Joseph pretty much outkicked or matched Moody in preseason.
And he's still available.
Yeah. I think what's happening here, and you've always talked to me about this, about business, and there's such a thing, and you've said this before, called
compounding interest.
Well, outside of that, sunk cost fallacy.
Money never sleeps.
Money never sleeps. Sunk cost fallacy.
Okay.
Folks, this is the definition of sunk cost fallacy, and see if it pertains to Jake Moody. It's the phenomenon whereby a person is reluctant to abandon a strategy or course of action because they've invested heavily in it, even when it's clear that the abandonment of it would be more beneficial.
Why? Because he's a third-round pick? Is that why? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they abandoned Trey Lance. They gave up 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance.
I just don't get it. You know what upsets me about Kyle is that there's no accountability with Kyle. He always passes the buck because he really is the GM when it comes to the personnel on the team. And he refuses to accept responsibility for this. It feels like a codependent thing. You ever watch those like Datelines when they interview a woman who's been battered by a husband and they're like, oh no, he's nice. It's not that bad. That's how I feel as a Niner fan.
Yeah, it was the alcohol's fault.
It was the alcohol's fault.
Yeah.
But hey, we won. I don't know what you want to say, but Brock Purdy looked like Joe Montana. I know he had the 2 interceptions.
And one of them was not a very good pick. But yes, he had nobody to throw to.
But
Jennings was out of the game by that point. Kittle was out of the game by that point.
If you concentrate on the 2 interceptions, I think that's just lowbrow analysis. He was really efficient. Ricky Pearsall, Slick Rick.
I think he's going to be legit.
He looked great. But we can't. We need Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He was doing nothing out there. Demarcus Robinson comes back game 4 from the DUI thing.
Yeah, but they're going to get Kendrick Bourne. I think that's a good thing. I should put my Niners hat on.
Yeah.
And I think that Tongas is going to save the day. And they're going to run the ball a lot. I think this too. The one thing they haven't had, I know they had Mason, they had various other guys, Jeff Wilson. I really think if McCaffrey and Brian Robinson, that 1-2 punch is going to be a difference maker this year. They can run. They ran the ball 36 times yesterday.
Yeah.
And they stayed with it, even though they were only getting a little over 3 yards a carry, Matt. I just think that this team is now built better there. And that's Kyle's brand of football anyway, right? And he hasn't been able to do that.
Sure. I mean, I can see you drinking the Kool-Aid. You had some in your car before you came in.
I think they're 10-7 and make the playoffs, but I don't think they're.
I still think Kyle Shanahan's play calling is an issue.
How about the fact that guys keep getting hurt?
But check this, Paul. I mean, remember he seems like he telegraphs some plays when he gets into the red zone. It's the same issues we had last year in the red zone. And what I felt, and I've talked about this about Steve Kerr, is Kyle Shanahan. It feels like the game has passed him by. Everyone's caught up to him, and now he's the one with sort of this old system. I'm not seeing the motion like I used to see. He's telegraphing run plays. And I love that your boy, CMC, got all those runs. Brian Robinson didn't impress me a little bit. He was kind of like 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
But he just got the playbook. He's just there. He did give the ball to him 9 times. Sometimes Kyle just doesn't even let guys into the playbook. He won't, rookie wide receivers, new guys on the team. So I think he's going to figure it out. But look, I know Kyle drives you crazy. Obviously.
And he will continue to drive all of us crazy. You know what I was doing I didn't tell you, in the text chain, when I was texting all that stuff, I started to put together a list of head coaches next year. And I had like Robert Saleh, why don't he take over the team? Belichick, Nick Saban, John Gruden.
Okay, so I'm going to be positive that John Gruden,
yeah,
if he wins his lawsuit against the NFL, he could be back. Roberts, how good their defense looked. They got all these young guys on defense. Marquise Siegel and Stout and some of these other guys. They look stout. The defense looks stout.
Well, I want to bring out some of the positives before we move on.
No, you
here.
don't, Matt.
Yeah, I do. Robert Saleh, welcome back. Improved run defense, 7 tackles for losses. Run defense only a 3.2 average by the Seahawks. Robert Saleh. You know what? Remember last year, we wouldn't blitz to save our fucking life.
Right.
And Saleh brought the pressure. I know how much you like to blitz in the way you live your life.
Right.
Saleh was bringing those blitzes. Did that give you a little chup-chup?
It did. He coaches defense like Alcaraz hits a tennis ball.
Jake Tonga's fan club. Are you going to get a number 88 jersey?
I'm not, Matt. You know, the only jersey I own, Matt, is
Colin Kaepernick.
No, it's my Yomiuri Giants, my Tanaka jersey.
Can you name another famous 88 for the Niners?
Yeah. Fuck. Come on, Matt. I know you're going to tell me. I know it.
It's a deep cut. Freddie Solomon.
Yeah, it's Freddie Solomon. That's what I was going to go with.
There you go.
Oh, fuck. I'm tip my tongue.
Tip of your tongue, baby.
Yeah.
You already touched him on the Matt Prater thing. So good for you here.
Thanks, Matt.
You know what I did want to bring
the
up?
Show notes that you didn't send me ahead of time.
Yeah, but check this out. I don't know if you read Eric Branch of the San Francisco Chronicle. Great article because he was the one guy that went around and did a confidence check in the locker room. And it was real low. Juszczyk and Fred Warner, when asked, they paused for 5 seconds before saying, I hope he comes through. When they asked his holder, Morstead, he said, you have to ask him.
Wow.
So if Kyle's taking the
guy
temperature of the room,
literally holds his balls. You could tell that the balls were
the balls.
Yeah,
it all comes down to the balls.
There was not ice water running through them.
Yeah. What a great win, though. What a fucking great win. My week's better because of this.
I was worried about you, actually. So are you worried? So we got to talk. Let's talk a little future.
Yep.
Future trip, as they say. So we got the Saints coming up. Are we worried that they had this many injuries? First of all, Juwan Jennings. Of course, Juwan Jennings got hurt. Every time a guy sits out training camp, they get hurt.
Right.
Every time. Right. So he wants to play for this big fucking contract, but you can't get more money next year, Juwan, if you don't actually play.
Yeah.
Kittle seems to get hurt all the time. He's hurt again.
Yeah.
Purdy got, was pinball, got beaten up yesterday. He's hurt.
Yeah.
Are we worried? They misdiagnosed Christian McCaffrey last year, basically lost almost the entire season before they figured out to send him to Germany and give him some German steroid juice.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm going to Oktoberfest next week, Matt.
God, you're spinning so many plates right now. Look at you
segueing
into
are we worried? Are we worried that maybe they got a problem? Remember the Giants a few years ago had to get rid of everyone was getting hurt. They had to get rid of their strength and conditioning people.
This has been an issue for the 49ers for the last 3-4 years. The big thing is they like to draft guys that get hurt. If you notice some of their draft picks.
They think they're bargain hunting. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's a whole bigger thing about, training camp now but training camp is less, but Shanahan treats practices like it's 1981 and Dick Vermeil's on the sideline.
Right.
Yeah.
He's known for they are the only team that basically practices at full speed. And guys get hurt.
I don't know. I mean, I got so much Kool-Aid.
I mean, they were hurt. Everyone was hurt during training camp too. So,
but then we got really healthy before week 1, and now, so Kittle's gone. It looks like Jennings is going to be okay. I don't know. I don't know how to feel. If we can get by the Saints, and I could see that as a trap, like a dumb trap. Kyle fucking loss.
Yeah, they're going to New Orleans. They might. They might
Rattler.
They might have
but
one
you know
too many
what?
hurricanes. They might go to Lafitte Blacksmiths.
Yeah.
Too late at night.
They might go to
hit the Penthouse Club.
Or they might just go get a bunch of beignets at Club Du Monde.
Sure.
Yeah. But with the one saving grace is we have Robert Saleh with that fucking defense. That won us the game.
Okay. So you're feeling positive.
Well, here's the thing. So how you feel about this weekend? This pod's coming out in a couple days. We're going to New Orleans.
6.5 point favorite, I saw.
I didn't see. You tell me. Is it 6.5
I saw 6.5, and I think the over-under is 43.5.
Well, it's going to drop if Purdy's out. But how do you feel about that game? I mean, you know what? They lost to the Cardinals, but the Saints look decent.
And they did in the second half. They actually had a little bit of a comeback.
Right.
I don't think they cover. I don't think this team's going to do a lot of covering this year.
Right.
I think based on this game, I think their defense. By the way, they also if they had a real field goal kicker, they would have won yesterday by 10 points.
Right.
So
when you used to be out on the town on Sunset Boulevard before you got married, you always used to cover.
I used to cover. But what does that mean? I don't even know. But
I don't even know.
I paid the cover because I wasn't cool enough to just walk in someplace. They would fucking charge me.
The fucking over-under.
But anyway, I think without a real field goal kicker, with all these injuries, I think they're going to have trouble covering. I think they're going to win the game because I think that they got some nads this year. I think they've got the rest of the team does not have Jake Moody's tiny balls. They have bigger balls.
What's the score? Give me a score.
So if it's 43.5, is the over/under? That's, by the way, that's not a lot of points. But they only had 30. I think it's going to be 21-17 Niners.
Gotcha. That's great.
Notice there are no field goals in there. No one made a field goal.
Oh, that's a really great point.
Yeah.
That's a really great point. I think the Niners are going to win, and I think it's going to be an ugly bloodbath. I think it's going to be like 16-13.
Wow. Okay. So we both going with the under.
It's going to be the Mac Jones.
There were a lot of unders yesterday, by the way, except for the 41-40 game.
But Mac Jones is going to throw a touchdown pass in the fourth quarter to Luke Farrell, who is now Jake Tonga's backup. Okay.
Okay. So we're feeling pretty positive. Remember we started this? One of us had to pick them to lose.
Yeah.
Did we fuck that up?
I don't even know. We're still in our training camp when it comes to fucking.
I haven't talked in one of these giant microphones in a month.
You look good. Just you know what you're doing.
I guess, man. I guess I feel weird, Matt. When I was on the Grand Canyon, I had a full-on beard. I had the fucking hair was long. I looked like the most interesting man in the world. And I come to Hollywood, and I'm worried that that some ageism will kick in. So I shave. And
you look good.
I feel like Lazarus, but I lost my strength.
No.
Like cutting myself. Samson? Who is that?
Samson.
Who's Lazarus? What did he do?
Lazarus rose from the dead, right? Yep.
You're up with your biblical scholar.
Yeah, star of the C Elementary School.
So he didn't have any. There was no hair. He probably had a beard, though.
Who, Lazarus?
Yeah.
What are we talking about right now, folks? Hey, folks, we're going to be right back with a little more NFL talk, and we're going to talk with Mark Rodríguez from Mastermind Media. So stick around. All right, folks, BLA heads, we're back, and we have a guest in the house, talk a little football, talk some stuff. We have Mark Rodríguez, founder of Mastermind Media, a leading digital strategy and media production hub driven by its mission to amplify clients' passions and expand their audience using the internet. Mark and Mastermind are committed to helping individuals realize their dreams and inspiring global audiences through innovative media production. But to us, he's just a Detroit Lions fan from the 313. What's up, Mark?
Go. So happy to be on the podcast.
Welcome, Mark.
Especially after week one.
Week one.
WEAK.
Yeah. I know. Well, before we get to your lines, folks, we're doing this from Mastermind Media.
We are. It's our new home. It's our new home.
This is it. This is our new home. Thanks for letting us come in to invade your space.
We appreciate it. We love great podcasts and you guys coming in doing your thing. We're just happy to be a part of it.
I love that answer. It's very political.
We love great podcasts.
That's great.
Yeah.
So Mark's from Detroit. This is our first Detroit. Is this the first Detroit guy we've had in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You guys, Paul, and we haven't discussed this ahead of time, so this is completely organic. The Lions had a hangover. At the end of the last year, everyone thought they were going to the Super Bowl. I mean, I had a couple Detroit buddies who were like, here we go. And you come out week one, and it was a bit of a dud. Are you worried? What's going on back home?
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's not even a 1 year hangover. It's the 2 year hangover because we can't even have this conversation, especially with you guys being 49er fans.
I was at that game.
Without January 28th, I think, 2024.
Just look at it. He's like,
Do you know what I did that day?
What'd you do?
Day that will live in infamy.
I flew my dad out from Detroit.
Okay.
To fly to LA. We drove up to the game.
Okay.
And so we get to the game. This is also on the other side of losing for decades.
Right.
So we finally got we did the video. We posted it on social media about how we surprised my dad because we were like looking at tickets and we're like, hey, where do you think a good place would just sit at the game this week it would be?
Right.
And that clip goes viral. So we got all of this hype, all this momentum. We get to San Francisco. We win the first half.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, you didn't win the first half. You punished us.
Punished you the first half.
Yeah.
So everybody, halfway through, everybody's going to take a piss. And I think maybe this might be the first time I ever saw you. If you're at the game, everybody's just gleaming at us. Just how dare you?
Yeah.
And we just felt like we were on top of the world. There's no way we could ever lose this game.
Right.
We're already like looking at Super Bowl tickets.
Exactly.
To get punished in the second half.
I felt bad as much as I could feel bad because
that sounds like Game 6 of the 2002 World Series, Matt. When you're calling your dad, and you're like, hey, Dad, we finally did it.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that went viral about the Detroit fans celebrating at halftime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it made sense. It wasn't like some weird, like, jinxy thing.
Yeah, because usually, like, a Detroit fan's supposed to be composed, and we don't like to do the extra stuff. I mean, with this team now, we're embracing the the backflips and the cool dances and all that kind of stuff. But typically, Detroit, you help people move, when they need it. You give them a hand.
I mean, don't take us the wrong way. You guys haven't had a lot of practice winning. So is that a mean thing to say?
No, I think
it's right. I mean, you got to act like you've been there.
Well, they have the Pistons, they got the Tigers, but with the Lions.
But the Lions have never won it. I mean, they won it before pre-Super Bowl.
Is it a bit of a Cleveland Browns mentality? Is this like the sky's falling is like the base level where you start as a Lions fan?
No, I think as far as like I wouldn't put us in the same category as like Cleveland. Cleveland,
they don't have a lake. Their lake doesn't catch on fire.
Yeah. But that's the thing is, I think after years and decades of losing, you kind of, that's where the grit they talk about comes from. And so that was a tough day. And then, last year we started off, I think, 1-1. Yep. Right. So as we come to this year, losing the first game, yes, it is we're having some flashbacks of,
you also found that the problem with some success is you lose guys. So you lost both your offensive and defensive coordinator, right?
Yeah. Right.
And so Goff looked lost without Ben Johnson.
It felt like there was no confidence.
Yeah.
And we had one like decent trick play or something, went for 4th down, got it. Yeah. Right. So it started like we tried to build momentum here and there, and it just didn't happen. It didn't feel like the almost sack in the end zone, everything, the interception early on.
Right.
It just didn't feel the momentum. I don't know if that's you don't play your guys in the preseason type of stuff. I know a lot of people are talking about that right now.
Yeah.
But with Dan Campbell behind you, it's like,
you'll run through a wall for Dan Campbell, but
100%.
But do you still believe in Dan Campbell? I know it's a crazy question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's the best thing to happen to Detroit maybe ever.
And he's coffee order. You know what his coffee order, Nick, is?
No.
Do you know what Dan Campbell does? Do you know his coffee order?
I think it's like pretty crazy. It's
like a double nitro, some fucking thing. It's
17 sugars or something like that.
It's like 7 shots. Yeah. And it's like a Beyond a Venti. I don't even know what it is. Yeah.
I'm more worried about that, I would say.
Sounds like he's at an AA meeting or something. That's crazy.
For sure.
How would you guys say, so coming from the other side, watching somebody like Dan Campbell and how adventurous he was or how ballsy he was last year going for it and like really building that mentality, because I don't know if we've ever seen anything like that.
Well, that was the criticism after the Niners game. It finally backfired, but he's like, that's how I did it all year, right?
Yeah.
Well, he kind of coaches like he's playing a game of Madden a little bit, and it's great if you're watching a movie or if you're gambling, you're a gunslinger, but I feel as a Detroit fan, you're like, hey, I love the moxie, but it's a little too much.
Yeah, I think we're still behind it because obviously with nothing ever working since Barry Sanders, and even him was like, all right, I'm out early.
Right. I'm just gonna go to the Hall of Fame now.
Yeah,
Megatron.
As
well.
So we've always had just like one or two decent guys, but now with the team, that's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
And even like you saying, you feel bad after that game. The Detroit Lions, America was definitely getting behind them because there was like the underdog story. Now you got a team of guys that are really fun to watch.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, then you get Aaron Glenn gone. You got
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson, who's playing in about 30 minutes from when we're recording this.
That's right. Yeah.
And to see how they did. I mean, the Jets lost their first game.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing what Chicago does. We got Chicago next week.
Right.
So I think,
at home on the turf?
I'm not sure.
I like to make things about myself. Yeah. And as Matt knows, I managed to make it through most of my life without ever playing fantasy football. And I got pulled into some dickhead league this year with a bunch of my comedy writer friends.
It's a full-time job.
And it was just an auction draft. Are you a fantasy guy? Are you?
I was for 2 years, and then I had to dip out.
So I did this auction draft. You know anything about it? You get like $200 fake dollars, and you got to like not overpay for guys. So who did I get? Amon St. Brown. I paid fucking $39 for Amon St. Brown. He fucking took a shit in his pants yesterday.
Hey, wait till you get him on the turf, and don't forget to put the raw in there because it's Amon Ra.
Whatever his name is, Amon Joy St. Brown. I don't know. I like it because of his brother. I like Equimenius St. Brown.
They have a podcast as well, don't they?
Do they?
Yeah, it's called the St. Brown Podcast.
The St. Brown Podcast.
Yeah.
Okay,
you should have them on.
We should.
But even with St. Brown, he had, I don't know if he broke the record last year with how many consecutive games he had with a touchdown.
Right.
So he's.
Until he played for me.
Yeah.
So you guys still like, we're a playoff team. We're going to figure this out.
I think that's what you have. I mean, NFL is obviously the toughest form of football. But after 2 years, when we lost to San Francisco, and then Campbell said he was so realistic with everybody.
Yeah.
We don't know if we'll ever get back here. You know how hard it is to get here?
Yeah.
And then for last year to get
that,
and that was, but setting a record of most wins. And now with this year, starting off on the wrong foot. But I think sometimes you need that punch in the face.
Before you take, so he comes by his fandom. Honestly, I was in the toilet here. At Mastermind.
Yep.
And getting kind of cleaned up.
Okay.
Looking at myself in the mirror.
Sure.
And there is a painting of Barry Sanders.
Yep.
Yeah.
By your grandfather?
My grandfather, yeah. So he was
in the toilet. Beautiful. I mean, it should be beautiful. It should be in the Met, not in your toilet. But yeah.
I was trying to figure out where it would fit in here.
Yeah.
I put one of his paintings of a clown that worked over here.
Okay.
But we put that in here. I want to make that a whole Detroit spectacle
I'm
bathroom.
I'm not going to sing.
But
in the toilet.
Put Scott Mitchell in there or some shit. Herman Moore.
So Herman Moore,
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Scott Mitchell.
George Plimpton, the paper. You ever see that? Remember that movie?
Paper Tiger.
Hanson, we can put Hanson up.
George Plimpton pitched to the All-Stars, boxed with the champ, and had the gall to think he could play professional football. The Paper Lion is about to get creamed.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, and Paul, you'll love this question, hopefully. In the NFL, it's not like Major League Baseball parks, where there's a personality to each park. But I think in the NFL, Ford Field feels like it has an identity. Is Ford Field pretty cool?
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, for years they were at the Silverdome.
That's right. That's
so
right.
as a Detroit fan living in Detroit or living west of Detroit, right? That's what got the
49ers won the Super Bowl.
Detroit-ish.
Yeah.
Oh,
Detroit? Yeah.
Detroit-ish, right? Because everybody says I'm from Detroit. I'm 20 minutes west of Detroit.
Okay.
So you go to the Silverdome for the Lions. You go to the Palace at Auburn Hills for the Pistons.
Yeah.
And then you had Tiger Stadium downtown. Yeah. And you had Joe Louis Arena for Red Wings.
Yeah.
And so they brought everything downtown as like Dan Gilbert from the Cleveland Cavaliers brought like $2.2 billion into Detroit, Quicken Loans. It really pumped everything up after the motor industry crashed. And so one of my favorite memories, sports memories, my father and I went to see the Tigers game, which shout out to the Tigers doing well again.
Let's go. Let's go.
So I forget what year it was, but the Tigers were playing in the playoffs, and it was on a Monday night, and Monday Night Football was the Lions. And so we went to the Tigers game, went to the seventh inning. They were winning. We left slightly early, walked across the street to Ford Field, and then watched the Lions win on Monday Night Football. Two wins, which was unheard of, especially at that time.
The two-a-days are always fun.
That's a great
thing. Yeah. You're a fan of that.
I am. I did that in Cleveland when the Durant sank that game-winning shot in
against the Warriors.
In the 2018 NBA championship, and I'd done a day game at Progressive Field.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is. So Ford Field is amazing. I mean, coming to SoFi now, which we were big fans of Stafford when the trade happened. Right, this is before we had this new identity. So we had people in Detroit with Detroit Rams shirts on.
Okay,
and then he won the championship. So that was like the closest thing we ever got to being good since I was born. And, but I felt like Ford Field was one of those things, like similar to SoFi. As it was built, you walk in, it's just so like next level.
Yeah, with
SoFi, of course,
it's a spaceship.
Yeah.
That shit's built by the
government.
You love
Levi's. You want to talk about how much you love our stadium?
That Legoland bullshit, fucking asshole stadium.
It's a great place to get a tan, though, because they don't have it covered.
It's
hot as fuck during the game. Yeah.
Mark, Mastermind Media, you're like a multi-hyphenate. Welcome to the club. You do it all.
Yeah.
So what's Mastermind? Give us the little breakdown. You guys are shooting stuff, producing shit.
Yeah. I think the big thing for me and us at Mastermind, it's like being strategic and then also like matching that with really strong creative. Mm-hmm. So we started as a social media agency on accident. I had started another business venture. I sold everything, went all in on it, and then it didn't work out.
Okay.
Within a year. Uh-huh. So I had to start over, and somebody asked me to run their Instagram account because I had grown mine a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I had one client, turned into 2, turned into 10, turned into now 10 years of digital media. And so we started with social media, but then we saw that like we needed somebody to do graphics and like websites and be a one-stop shop for all digital needs. Yeah. And then, a few years ago, we started our podcast studio here in Hollywood. Yeah. Just because like the digital game is ever evolving and we want to be strategic and be at the forefront of that change versus a lot of people, they'll start something and then just like fall behind all the advancements. And so now as we have a really strong team of these really great creatives, we're able to figure out, as a brand, how do you extract someone's brand, right? Create content around it and then use these digital platforms to get them as much attention as possible so they can turn that into dollars.
You know what, Paul? That sounds like, it feels like everyone I know needs that guy. Everyone's looking for that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's hard to find
You
that
could probably
guy.
help with your dating app stuff, your profile.
With the one, not the double dating one, but the triple dating, where
well,
everyone
I'm
goes
just
on a
saying,
triple
Matt,
date.
I feel like,
It's called threesome right now.
Oh, is that right?
But it's not how you think, Nick. It's not how you think. But just let your mind run a little bit.
It's running. It's sprinting.
Yeah.
I think Nick is no longer on the apps.
No, he retired. But that's another podcast.
How's AI impacting any of this for you?
So we're leaning into it. So we use it. I think the biggest thing is like, how do we not, especially the younger generation, get too attached to it so it's just this convenience right now and then turns into losing your critical thinking and all of that. So we love to use it as a tool to advance things, to speed things up. The first time we used it, before we had like the live cutting here, we would use Autopod to edit the podcast. So that took us from doing like an hour podcast from 6 to 7 hours down to like 2 hours. And then it was like, how do we advance that? How do we, continue to use it? So we're like really figuring out how to automate everything internally to save us time and money, but then help others do that as well.
Okay.
And we're using it every single day.
It's crazy. It's like I tell friends of mine, like, you have to stay on the curve. It's like the train's going to leave you behind. And like we're using AI a little bit, like when we cut like the reels, we're using Opus clips.
Sure,
but what we're finding is like AI, it's just the nuance is tough.
You need to like, number one, also like you guys being creatives too. Yeah. You start as a creative and you use it. You can't just be, somebody that has no creative mindset and just use it and think it.
You have to give it
because you don't have the taste buds, right?
Because you need to like give it. I tell people that. Like I think it'll get rid of the writer's room, but it won't get rid of the showrunner because you have to be able to give it proper creative prompts to get the kind of response that you want.
And continue to have those taste buds that you can refine things. And I think it'll continue to get better. It's already like absolutely amazing.
I mean, I use it all the time in ways that I don't tell people, and I mean that in a strictly legitimate way. Nick, but
you're not even here right now.
Yeah, I'm not even here right now. But the times I text Paul during like some edits where I'm like, this fucking idiot doesn't know. I can't believe like complaining about the AI, what AI is offering. It helps about 60%.
It would help if you didn't have a name for her, Sheila.
I call her Sheila.
Yeah,
but it's just about 60. We still have to fill in the 40.
You have to, yeah. And I think the toughest thing right now is we're seeing, especially with brands, if you're using it and you don't know how to use it, where now people can tell that you've used it.
Oh yeah.
Now they're losing trust in you. So you don't want to overly use AI if it's noticeable because now people are saying,
they're starting to be able to figure out if it's been done.
I can tell like that.
Yeah.
Especially we do a lot of pitch decks for TV shows and films for people pitching, and they'll send me a complete ChatGPT synopsis and all this stuff. I'm like, you got first of all take out the M dashes or whatever,
all
the long
dashes. Go bye.
And I want to feel your personality, not the robot's personality. I can tell this isn't you.
The prompts. It all depends on those prompts.
Yeah.
So you're in LA doing all this, like, because do you think traditional media and what's happening? I talk about the fact that LA's kind of a dying town in a lot of ways. A lot of production is left. It was an industry town, obviously, for a long time. People still think there's a lot of product happening, but the work has changed. So 100%. I mean, but you're in LA. So do you think LA can maybe shift away from the Hollywood bullshit and start to figure out how to maybe go in this direction where there's actually a future? I feel
Well, I think that was always the big thing, right? You had to move to LA to be around everybody. Now you don't have to be here. So I love the flexibility of not having to be here. I still love it for the most part. I think LA does a really horrible job. LA, California does a horrible job really allowing people to be successful. It's like they try to cap you at every single thing. Like, okay, more taxes, more of this, more of that, so you can't get ahead.
Right.
So that's really forcing us to do like strategic thinking. How do we, use AI tools like that to minimize our costs, but also find a way to scale.
Okay.
And you talk about housing, and with this whole incentive, the tax incentive that's coming back.
Yeah.
So I think they're starting to wake up. I think they were operating from like this ego of we're Hollywood, nobody will never leave us, and then now they're like the boyfriend that like got left alone. And then everybody else like, we're gonna make it cheaper elsewhere. So I love that they're finally waking up to that.
Right.
Do I think they're gonna figure it out? Is it too late? Maybe.
I love it when you use dating analogies. Then I understand it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like AI used to just be Allen Iverson. You know what I mean? And it should always just be Allen Iverson. But now,
But it's we talked about it with starting the podcast. Like if you're not embracing where the world is going, right? You have to.
Yeah.
And I think I have a lot of friends who've been in the industry a long time, and they just sort of lament how it's changed as opposed to adapting.
Yeah.
Right.
I think people have. So no matter where you are, you definitely don't need to be in LA. I think there is a hub of strong creatives that's really great. But I think that anyone, anywhere should start a brand and start using digital media and using it as much as possible, because that's all of the leverage. That's what you need to like really navigate the future, especially as we're going to see jobs declining in certain manufacturing, what have you. So I think anyone, wherever you are listening to this, that you should be using these digital platforms, putting yourself out there, getting over, get out of your own way, because the upside is amazing. And then you can still, like, if you grow enough of a following on a small digital idea, now you can come to Hollywood and make it if that's the case. But you need the leverage of numbers.
Yeah,
online.
if you can just close the curve just a little bit, it can go a longer way. Like people look at our podcast and go like, how'd you take it from here, from X to this place so fast? And you just got to kind of lean in and know a little bit about that, and you can take your product to the next level. Speaking of leverage, real quick, so tell us about your podcast. What's your podcast?
So my podcast is the Rodríguez Project.
Rodríguez Project, Nick. Okay.
Yeah, I have an episode coming out tomorrow. When is this coming out?
Thursday, maybe.
Okay,
like that.
cool.
Yeah.
So we just had our latest episode come out. A good friend of mine, Mark Ritchie, who does all of the live directing.
Yeah.
For like Coachella, like he's the one like calling all the shots, what camera you're going to.
Man.
He does like a bunch of, he's done Metallica and, Oprah show, like all this stuff. And so had him on the podcast. And what we do now is we take people's lives and we map it on, myself and my producer.
Yeah.
And we map their life onto a screenplay. So it's like live a life worth writing a movie about. And we take you through the screenplay format. So you're seeing the all is lost moment. You're seeing the, the opening image, all of that. So we're able to.
And you're doing it in real time with them?
So I'm asking them questions to illuminate these different moments. So you start with the opening image, you end with the ending image or the closing image, and then throughout we're asking questions that will help you understand their life story. They can lean into the story from there, but we use that as the structure, and we're also turning that now into an actual like card game. So when you're home for the holidays, playing with your family, learning from grandma what her life is about. You can
see that.
You can do that as well.
That's fucking amazing.
That's incredible.
I love that.
Mastermind. I can see the cards.
I can see the cards too. You know what? But I see at the end of my third act though that final scene in Scarface when he all of a sudden he gets killed by all those bullets.
Who you think you fucking with, man? I don't even tell. You fuck with me. You fucking with the bank.
That's not a good thing.
No, we want the hero's journey, Matt.
I want to be Goodwill Hunting at the end, just driving to California to see the girl.
Okay, but this is what Mark does on his podcast.
Yeah.
You manifest.
Manifest destiny, baby.
You can manifest,
go. Mark, before we get you out of here, we have a game called Start, Bench, Cut.
Got you, okay.
Okay. We're going to give you three
Start,
choices here, all right?
Bench,
cut. All right. You're a Detroit guy, all right? And so, and it's a tough game because you got to do it. Start, bench, cut. Barry Sanders, Miguel Cabrera, Chauncey Billups.
Woo. Barry Sanders, Cabrera, Billups. Start, bench, cut.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start. This is tricky.
Look at that bathroom. Look at that bathroom.
I think you gotta start Barry.
You got to start Barry.
Yeah. See, I thought he was going to go with champions. I thought he was going to go with
wow.
the Pistons.
That's like a weird shot fired.
No.
Yeah.
I was with you, Paul.
Yeah.
We're in the NFL season.
Yeah. No, good.
Okay.
And it's been, Pistons had a decent season.
Yeah, not bad. They're back.
Yeah. So I'm starting Barry Sanders.
Sanders on the draw. Longest run of the game, and he's in the clear. 40, 30, inside the 20. Barry Sanders brings this crowd to life.
I'm going to bench Billups.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut Cabrera.
There you go.
Cabrera.
Yeah.
I feel like you had agreed with that.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, because they didn't win it.
Mark, thanks for coming in out of the bullpen for us. It was a fascinating talk
Yeah,
about
it's
AI.
great, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Go
Wait to
Lions.
check out your pod too. You're good. You're good in front of a microphone. Man,
Oh, appreciate that. Lots of practice.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. We'll be right back with some more shit. Folks, we're back. Thanks to Mark Rodríguez from Mastermind Media for coming on. I feel a little bit smart about the AI thing. Does it feel more accessible to you?
Yeah, I mean I'm using it a fair
you are. I know you are.
amount actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying not to. Again, like I said, if you have the proper prompts, it can be very helpful.
Yep.
But it literally put in put in hey, write a scene like Die Hard in a podcast studio or something.
Yeah.
It writes a really shitty scene.
Exactly.
Right? You gotta give it more details than that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's always cool to see someone who's got got a lot of talents, but they can sort of monetize and put it into a creative company.
Right.
Do something like that.
I don't think I asked the question very clearly or succinctly, but I just, as a guy who got sucked into the Hollywood bullshit after I started out making independent films and doing other cool shit, and I just hey, answer, just get me on a TV show and give me fucking residual checks for the rest of my life. That's not how Hollywood works anymore. You gotta come and be entrepreneurial.
Yeah,
and so I respect what Mark's doing.
Yeah, you can't have a chip on your shoulder. A lot of people I run into have a chip on their shoulder about stuff, and you're going to get left behind.
Yeah,
so you don't want that. Paul, let's just quickly talk about the San Francisco Giants. I have something to say about them. It's they break my heart, and fuck the Giants for sucking me back in. They are the crazy ex-girlfriend you just can't quit. They went on that great streak. Like you said, you can't get hot unless you hit. And they hit for a bit.
Oh, boy, they hit. They set the most home runs, 18 games in a row with a home run?
Yeah. Do you think, what do you think? I mean, I'm feeling positive for the future. I don't think we're going to make the playoffs. But, Adamas Devers, Drew Gilbert, our baby version of Lenny Dykstra.
Yeah. But he still got his teeth.
Yeah. The Giants, it gives us some hope. I just hope it didn't save Melvin's.
That's not my mother.
I just hope it doesn't save Melvin's job.
I think it did. Yeah. I think they're going to have to really go in the tank for Melvin to get fired now. So it didn't really work. Look, it was, how much fun was those 12 games? It was crazy. They were like a real baseball team hitting home runs. And we saw what Devers can be. Anyway, the whole time we were talking to Mark, all I wanted to do was talk to him about Magnum PI because he was wearing
Tom Selleck. Shout out to Tom Selleck. Yeah.
But by the way, he had such good hair. You would think that he wouldn't have had to wear that.
Only a man like you notices those things.
Yeah, I'm talking about Tom Selleck's hair.
Oh, Tom Selleck.
I don't know what Mark's hair is.
Yeah,
like.
no,
He had a hat on all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I've said this multiple times during this season that and it started when they signed Verlander. And by the way, do you know Verlander's left the game 7 times where he qualified for a win.
Yeah.
And they blew the fucking lead.
Yeah.
Somebody's got something against him. I think Ryan Walker maybe fucked Kate Upton or something.
Well, Kate Upton hasn't come to one game this year.
That's what I'm saying. Something's going on.
Something's
going on.
Speaking of this.
Oh, hold on, but let me just finish this thought. So 2009, they signed, remember we talked about it. They signed Randy Johnson. They were a team that was starting to turn the corner. In 2010, they won the World Series. So 2025, I think, in that year, they finished over 500 after a bunch of crappy years in a row. I think it's important that they finish strong, even if they don't make the playoffs. And I think they're going to take that momentum into next year. I think things are hopeful.
Hey, from your lips to God's ears. I don't know how that saying goes.
That's right.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. They're fun to watch. Tang's fun to watch. Gilbert is fun to watch. Matos.
Tang. What did we say Tang looks like? He looks like kind of like Kim Jong-un on the mound, but he looks like somebody else. Rick Russell. He's the Taiwanese Rick Russell.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, and I just want to say Ryan Walker should send Jake Moody a gift basket because if it wasn't for Jake Moody, Ryan Walker would be getting more hate mail than he's already getting.
Right.
So it's a bit of a wag the dog primary colors thing with those two guys. Let's get to something else.
As you know, recently went to my first movie theater since before COVID.
Jesus, can we applaud for that?
Fucking
God,
weird. I know.
Came out of his ivory tower to go to a fucking movie.
I don't know what happened. Yeah. I got freaked out by the COVID thing, and then I don't know. Then I got tired of being near people, and I don't know what it was. And I found my lovely wife. We watched shit at home. I get the screeners. Anyway, we finally went to the Landmark Cinema, the Sunset 5 on Sunset in Carson Heights. We saw Weapons.
Yeah.
Which whatever. It's good. I enjoyed the movie. By the way, Landmark, you get this giant fucking mug that you for like $25, and then forever you can have $5 beers in this huge mug for as long as you go there.
Okay.
Anyway, so you said, hey, watch his other movie, Barbarian.
Yeah.
Which takes place in Detroit.
Yeah. Okay. Right? There's the connection.
Film.
Which also, by the way, is really shot in Bulgaria. So I won't get into if Detroit and Bulgaria what they have in common. But at the end credits, he thanks the first guy the director thanks is Al Madrigal.
Get out of here.
Guest and friend of the pod, Al Madrigal.
No shit.
So I looked it up. You know who Zach Krager is? He was a sitcom actor and a stand-up.
He was in The Boys in the Hall or The Kids in the Hall.
He was in the Whitest Boys or something, Whitest something. And he was on this show called Guys with Kids with Anthony Anderson, and he was on something Friends with Benefits.
Yeah,
he was like a sitcom actor.
Yeah, that's right. Our friend of the pod, Mattress Dave, my neighbor.
Yeah, Mattress Dave.
Mattress Dave knows of him too from back in those days.
Interesting.
But
anyway, but Al Madrigal, I don't know. I don't know how he and Al Madrigal are buddies, but everything comes back to the pod, man.
Hey, first off, I want to say I loved Weapons, folks. I don't know if it's still in the theater, but if you missed it, definitely catch it on the stream. I personally thought, and I saw it at a sold-out Grove showing where people were laughing and jumping on each other at the same time. I thought it was one of the most innovative pieces of filmmaking.
Which is interesting because the guy's he was like, I know, I thought he was like some, filmmaker guy, and obviously he figured that out somehow, but that's not exactly his background.
Yeah, I just thought it was an innovative piece of filmmaking.
Yeah, I thought it was very well made for that genre, right?
Yeah. The way he fucks with timelines.
Yeah.
And the way he uses drama as comedy. I thought it was very funny. And some of those Josh Brolin moments I thought were a riot. And what did you think of Barbarian, by the way, folks?
So I actually liked it better than Weapons.
Barbarian's great. I love Barbarian.
And I'm having more trouble getting it out of my head. Weapons kind of enjoyed it while I was there, but it kind of left as soon as
Barbarian fucks
I
you
was
up.
out of there. Yeah.
I watched Barbarian during COVID.
It's basically a Me Too horror film, is how I would describe it.
Yeah, it was great when they cut to Justin Long, but when I watched it, I had to watch part of it on mute with subtitles because I was so fucking scared.
You know, I don't want to give too much away, but as a kid, when I would steal my brother's Playboys, remember Grandmama who had the big saggy boobs?
Yeah.
That's basically, and I was always haunted by Grandmama and her big saggy boobs, right?
Sure.
I think it probably kept me as the virgin Paul Rule in high school, the Viper. But this woman is basically, they're not I don't want to give it away too much, but the Jason Voorhees or whatever the fucking killer in this fucking movie basically looks like Grandmama from the Playboy cartoons.
And when I say here Grandmama, I think a Larry Johnson from the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, Grandmama.
That makes me shrivel up a little bit.
Yeah, so first off, I want to shout out to Nick Conrad here.
Yeah.
Based off of what you said. Nick, you saw my favorite film of the year in IMAX. You saw F1, right?
I did, yes.
And was it fucking spectacular?
Spectacular.
Worth
going to the theaters to see, hands down.
Yeah, and that was a sideways dig at you for fucking.
I understand, man. It's not in the theater anymore. I'm fucked. I can't go.
You fucked it.
Hey, but I was actually at F1 in Monte Carlo. Oh, that was the day after I was there. But
God damn it, this fucking guy, folks. I don't know what to do with him. Okay, I don't know what to do with him.
Hey, fucking, you give it, you get it back.
I guess, man. I guess I'm getting real. I'm having feelings right now about Paul, and it's not.
You know what you need, Matt? Maybe it's time
for a fucking day trip.
Time for day trip.
All right, folks. Today's podcast is brought to you by Day Trip Beverages. Forget ordinary soda, Paul. Get your fizz on with great flavor, a prebiotic punch, and clean ingredients that actually boost your vibe. Day Trip prebiotic sodas are designed for your mind, body, and mood. Paul. Day trips, baby.
Let's do it, baby. I'm going to pop this open. We got the same drink today, Matt.
Berry citrus.
Looks delicious. Well, that's a good one. This is the prebiotic one. I think with your stress out, you probably need the CBD sparkling water, but this, gut health.
But the stress comes from you. So maybe I just don't need you.
Wait a second. This is incredible.
Yeah.
Hey, well, Steve Groshel's ready to start a podcast with me.
I got you. I understand.
And he believes in creative accounting.
Folks, we're going to segue here, Paul.
Okay.
We're going to segue into, we're talking about best things. Is there anything you've seen? Because I got something I want to talk about best things.
Okay, so I kind of just told you the two things I've seen, which are the two Zach Krager movies. Right. I do want to add, can I add one other thing?
You can do whatever you want, baby.
Really? Even though you're so mad at me?
Yeah.
So the other thing is I saw Oasis Saturday night at the Rose Bowl.
Correct. I've seen a lot of clips on the Instajams. It looked amazing.
Fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I've been to a million shows, right? Saw the Ramones at the fuck Rock on Broadway when I was 16 years old in San Francisco. I've seen everybody. I've seen the Stones a bunch of times. Whatever. And it was one of the great shows I've ever seen. It's actually a little hard to explain why it was so great. Their first two albums are, I think, two of the best albums ever made. I think there are a lot of haters out there that are like, oh, they sound like the Beatles, or oh, they were too pop, whatever. But there's something, I don't know. I felt I was on a time machine. I think so. As Nick, he's into this stuff. The 90s are back, right, Nick? The 90s are having a moment,
yes.
Right? Oasis, I don't even think they knew how much the world wanted them to come back. And basically, the way it was described to me, it's like going to an English Premier League match where everybody's rooting for the same team. People were singing at the top of their lungs for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
All ages. I think they're a band that actually like kids still like and are discovering. They had one gold record in America, one gold record, Wonderwall. They sold out 80,000 seats 2 nights in a row at the Rose Bowl. They're bigger now than they ever were.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway, I just think the world needs shit. Like it's from an analog world. It was before Spotify and Apple Music and fucking Instagram and all this shit. And it's just there's something about it that makes you feel like you're connecting to other human beings.
Gotcha.
Anyway, it was fucking great. I love that. I had the best
love that.
time.
I love that. I can see that. Do you think Noel and Liam Gallagher, like if that was us, who's Liam and who's Noel?
That's a great question.
Yeah, let me ask. Do you
I know the
about
answer.
this?
I know the answer to this for sure.
I just hope that there's a period of time where you guys are not speaking to each other. Like, I hope that you avoid that part of their relationship.
Got it. But what were you going to say?
Well, first of all, it's worked well for them because them breaking up for 18 years, whatever it was, they're now bigger than they ever were.
Okay.
So maybe we need to break up. Scarcity. People are like, I miss Paul and Matt.
I mean,
then you go off to a solo project and it fucking sucks. And they're like, clearly he needed to be with Matt or with Paul, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so clearly you're Noel and I'm Liam.
Because people on surface would say, oh, you're Liam because of the way you lived your life in the past. But I think you're right. You're more Liam and I'm more Noel. But why do you get to be ex-husband of Patsy Kensit?
Well, you get to be the creative guy who wrote all the fucking songs. I'm just the fucking knucklehead who shows up with his hoodie on, his hands behind his back, and he makes the girls swoon.
Oh God bless America.
Yeah.
I love that. I have a quick best things I'd like to recommend to people.
Please.
Friend of the pod, Mark Roybal, who was on last week.
I'm so glad. I was going to bring this up. Good work.
Mark Roybal, who is the executive producer of Task on HBO. It premiered last night, and folks, I am sorry to regurgitate something that's been said on a lot of other pods, but Prestige TV is back. That first pilot, Paul, like you, I have a problem with this. I have a problem with my phone keeping my attention. Everything sucks. I was in from Jump Street, and it wasn't because of bells and whistles. Mark Ruffalo and Tom Pelphrey, it's the emotional core, these two blue-collar guys. You know, it's pretty incredible, the writing in this thing. It's a mix of The Wire with heart. I don't know how to describe it, but they fucking knocked it out of the park.
And again, the creator of Mayor of Easttown.
Mayor of Easttown. And
which Mark also was an EP on. And Mark, friend of the pod, big 49er fan.
Big 49er fan. And what I want to say is like, just get ready for the Emmys already. After watching one episode of this thing, I thought it was absolutely incredible. If you're thinking about something to watch Task on HBO, folks.
That's great. I saw Mark last week, and I was like, "Hey, I can't wait for it, and we're going to talk about it." So I'm glad you brought it up.
I'd like to talk to Mark.
Okay.
Yeah, he was actually in the behind the scenes after about the episode.
Yeah.
About the episode 1, and they cut to Mark, and he was talking about it.
We'll get together.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Also, real quick, I saw Caught Stealing.
Oh, I'm excited about that. He wears a 49er hat in the trailer. I saw the trailer, Matt, when I was in the movie theater.
San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, San Francisco Giants. What did I say?
Niners.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I should know better. But yes, he's wearing a nice Giants lid.
Yeah,
because he was an ex-baseball player. What's the story?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. Caught Stealing. Okay. It wasn't great.
Darren Aronofsky.
Aronofsky. It kept. You remember the Chronicle guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just sitting up. I was just sitting up watching. But
friend of the pod, Ben Sompkin. That's his avatar.
Okay. Yeah. I enjoyed it more probably because I saw Highest to Lowest the night before, which was just terrible.
Oh God.
Spike Lee. I love Spike Lee. He's someone.
But do you still love him though?
Well, let me explain, Paul. I grew up on Spike. He was one of the formative filmmakers that I've used as inspiration.
Okay.
I rip off a lot of Spike Lee in the stuff I shoot. To me, his movies now, it feels like the game has passed him by.
Yeah.
If he was an athlete, I think he should retire. It just wasn't good. But folks, also, if you're looking for something to stream, Friendship is also on HBO right now, and Black Box. both those are you can't miss on those two.
Is Friendship the comedy with Paul
kind
Rudd
of the awkward
and,
comedy
it's
horror?
It's kind of I Love You Man.
Yeah, no.
Can I cut in on that?
Yeah.
I just saw it last night.
Yeah.
A thumbs down from me.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Nick?
I think it was because I went in expecting I Think You Should Leave, and it started off like that, and I was not expecting it to be this kind of like drama. I was expecting more of like a comedy.
Yeah, to me, I hear that. I think Friendship and Weapons are my two favorite films of the year so far.
Wow. All right. Well, we can agree to disagree.
Pet peeves, real quick. Do you have any pet peeves for this week?
No, I don't have any pet peeves, man.
I just have one pet peeve.
Yeah.
And it came to me when I was voice texting you about the Niners.
Okay.
Yeah, and I wrote it down. I said, I just want to go on record saying something that everybody already knows. But Siri is a fucking idiot. Apple voice text is a fucking garbage piece of shit Texas Instrument fucking calculator or a television made in the Ukraine. Am I wrong on this, guys?
No. Can I? Are you done?
I'm done.
So I'm going to double up on that just real quick.
Yeah.
So my phone in the Grand Canyon, I had this case, this fucking waterproof case around your neck. You take photos with it, whatever. And it got a little bit of water in it, like literally, like a, I don't know,
like a drop.
Yeah. And the thing kind of, gets a little, steamed up, and I'm like, oh shit, there must be water. There's no water. Made little. Anyway, fucking phone died, never came back. Like they can't build these things so that they can take a little bit of water. This is what they call designed obsolescence. They want the fucking thing to break on you, so you have to get a new one. You could actually make a waterproof phone, Apple. Fuck you.
I think those were our strongest pet peeves in 53 episodes. Those were our strongest real-life pet peeves. You got one, Nick? It looks like you got one.
No. Next week, Apple's sponsoring the podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Next week, we're going to be sponsored by
their
fucking
new
Microsoft.
waterproof phone.
Intel with some jack. If you give me like a Microsoft tablet, I'm going to throw that in the garbage and be like, where's my iPad? Like, you know what I mean? Before we get out of here, any shout-outs, Paul?
So I feel weird doing this just after I did that rant.
Yeah.
So Sorry. So, a good friend of mine died on Friday. Great guy.
Yeah.
His name was Rob Hill. I might have to do a take two on this. Anyway, Rob was a great friend of the Rule family. He was a great buddy of my older brothers, but Rob was very much a surrogate brother to me. Died in a plane crash outside of Denver. Rob was there at my weddings. He was a guy who was... when I was going through a very tough time post my divorce, I talked to Rob a lot, stayed with him in Denver, went to Rockies games with him, other good stuff, played a lot of tennis with him. Anyway, the most positive force of nature guy you could ever imagine. And you're going to be missed, Rob. So,
yeah. Shout out to Rob, man. Paul, a lot of my MO is I feel you. I'm there for you. You're one of my best buddies, and what I like to do is I like to deflect moments like these with comedy. And I want to say to you that if you were an actor again, the way you just emotional recall, Meryl Streep's got fucking nothing on you.
Hey, when I was back in acting class, acting class 2.0.
Yeah.
When we did our movie together a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I got good at two things.
What's that?
Being really fucking angry and crying. Two things I couldn't do, and I was in my 20s. Weird.
Yeah. But folks, we're really excited to be back, and thanks for. Hope everyone had a good summer. We're back in the saddle. We're going to be back in a couple weeks with a brand new guest, and hopefully by that time the 49ers are 3-0. Paul,
they may be 4-0. I think we may possibly be recording after that Thursday night game, but we'll see. But with we will tease it without saying who he is. But a friend of the pod, and a previous guest on the pod, Is a big Hollywood mucky muck, but also a very knowledgeable former college football player.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Like Gorbachev did with Reagan at the summit of the Alps. I don't know if that happened. Great to see you.
You too, brother.
Great. Beat LA.
Beat LA.